Hola, ¿cómo estáis? In this beginner Spanish lesson, we will compare el pretérito indefinido and el pretérito imperfecto Spanish grammar tenses. Both of these Spanish grammar tenses are used to talk about the past, but they are quite different and it is vital to be absolutely clear on when you should use one or the other. The Spanish equivalent to the English past simple has two distinct grammar tenses, pretérito indefinido and pretérito imperfecto, which are used for different descriptions in the past and their verbs are conjugated in different ways. In English, the past simple grammar tense is more straightforward, and there is only one past simple, and the majority of its verbs are conjugated simply with the addition of ed. For example, last year I worked as a chef. In this course, we have already looked in detail at how to construct and use both of the pretérito indefinido and pretérito imperfecto Spanish grammar tenses, and now we will compare the differences between the two tenses to hopefully give you a clearer idea of when to use one or the other. First, let's see the uses of pretérito imperfecto. We use it for habitual actions in the past. For example, if you want to say, when we were little, we studied in that school. In Spanish you'll say, cuando éramos pequeños, estudiábamos en ese colegio. If you want to say, before, I used to listen to the radio every day. In Spanish you'll say, antes escuchaba la radio todos los días. If you want to say, when I lived with my parents, I didn't have responsibilities. In Spanish you'll say, cuando vivía con mis padres, no tenía responsabilidades. And if you want to say, my friends used to go to the movies every afternoon, but I had to study. In Spanish you'll say, mis amigos iban al cine todas las tardes, pero yo tenía que estudiar. We also use this tense for descriptions of the past. For example, my teacher was friendly and intelligent. This in Spanish is, mi profesor era simpático e inteligente. To say, my granddad was very tall and he used to smoke a lot. In Spanish you'll say, mi abuelo era muy alto y fumaba mucho. And if you want to say, my town used to be very small and it didn't have either a school or a health center. In Spanish you'll say, mi pueblo antes era muy pequeño y no tenía colegio ni centro de salud. And if you want to say, you have changed a lot, you used to be more fun and you seemed happier. In Spanish you'll say, has cambiado mucho. Antes eras más divertido y parecías más feliz. We also use el pretérito imperfecto for actions happening in the past. So if you want to say, while everyone was talking, Juan was looking out the window. In Spanish you'll say, mientras todos hablaban, Juan miraba por la ventana. To say, before, I used to do my homework when I was watching TV. Spanish is, antes siempre hacía los deberes cuando veía la televisión. If you want to say, Anna was always thinking about something else when she was speaking to me. In Spanish is, Ana siempre pensaba en otra cosa cuando hablaba conmigo. And to say, Carlos was smoking when he was driving. Spanish you'll say, Carlos estaba fumando cuando conducía. Next, let's see the uses of pretérito indefinido. We use this tense for specific unique or repeated actions. So if you want to say, what did you do at Easter? In Spanish is, ¿qué hiciste en Semana Santa? If you want to say, we went to Paris, and you? In Spanish you'll say, fuimos a París. ¿Y vosotros? If you want to say, yesterday we bought a new car. In Spanish you'll say, ayer compramos un coche nuevo. And if you want to say, 2 days ago my parents came to visit me. In Spanish you'll say, hace 2 días mis padres vinieron a visitarme. Finally, let's look at pretérito imperfecto and pretérito indefinido being used together in the same sentence. Pretérito indefinido expresses the main action, and pretérito imperfecto describes the reason or circumstances in which the main action happens. Let's see some examples. To say, when he was 18, he started to study at university. In Spanish, this is, cuando tenía 18 años, comenzó a estudiar en la universidad. If you want to say, while I was sleeping, someone came into the house. In Spanish you'll say, mientras dormía, alguien entró en mi casa. And if you want to say, when I was having a shower, someone knocked on the door. In Spanish is, cuando me estaba duchando, alguien llamó a la puerta. And to say, when I was going to the park, I saw Pablo. In Spanish you'll say, cuando iba al parque, me encontré con Pablo. As I said in the previous Begin Spanish video lesson, try not to get flustered by all of the grammar terminology you are being bombarded with. Pretérito indefinido, pretérito perfecto, pretérito imperfecto, etc. For many students, the titles make things sound more complicated than they actually are, and this can scare some students off. In fact, when you strip Spanish grammar back to its basics and concentrate on the bare bones of each of the Spanish tenses, they really are not so difficult. Always try to concentrate on being totally clear on when you should use one of the Spanish grammar tenses over another, and how you should conjugate the verbs in that tense for all the persons. Enjoy your Spanish studies, and see you next time with another Begin Spanish lesson. Adiós!